Get ready.
Let's show these people some footage.
All right, let's go.
So first up is me.
Yep.
And my first pick was Bleak Sword.
Bleak, oh, that sounds...
Look at this game.
Ooh,
So
it's appealing to my ideals.
This is, I call this hard 8-bit. It's a la Amstrad vibe.
Do you know, just incidentally, Hard 8-bit was my name back in MIRC days.
Is that real true?
No.
Oh.
I wish it was.
Hard 8-bit was the name of my high school band. So basically, it's a Dark Souls clone.
Really?
In 8-bit. So you got your fireplace there. You control it. It's got a really weird control system. So you keep your finger on the button, and then that gets you ready to strike. And then you press the direction of which way you want to strike. Just as a disclaimer as well, all one that I have done, apart from one, I'm playing on the Apple TV. So all these games, when you buy them, they go to the Apple TV.
Sorry, just as you were talking about how good that game is, I thought, oh, that's good. I might just pick up my iPhone and download it, which I'm doing right now.
In the second, yeah. So they go across to your phone, your iPad, your Apple TV, all your Apple devices, the games go to them, so it's right. So yeah, this is very Dark Souls-y, level uppy, super hard. If you die in a level, it's got a map, so you go along, the map, like level 1, level 1, 2. If you die in a level, you have one more opportunity to finish that level, otherwise you lose all your experience points and items you've got in that level, a la Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
It has boss battles and cutscenes. The bosses are chronically hard. And yeah, it's just a great game. How long are we going to spend on each of these games?
Yeah, as long as we want. It's our show. We can do whatever we want.
This game is oozing style. Like, look at what they've done with
you're oozing stuff from the hard 8-bit.
It's almost 2.5D.
Oh!
Is it though?
Yeah, no, because it's kind of got an isometric.
It's all 3D, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, using the 3 colors, the whole game, just such an amazing feat to be able to do with like a small
phone string.
I just don't.
You remember Snake?
Yeah, it's like Snake on like Super Juice.
Yeah. Super Juice. Speaking of Super Juice. First game I want to talk about is Sayonara Wild Hearts. Now, this game is visually amazing. You basically play a music video album.
Look at it.
It looks great. The music is mind-blowing. Like, I'm pretty sure you can get the soundtrack and you can just listen to the soundtrack.
Jumps off her bike.
Yeah, now, it is just an infinite runner.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of gameplay besides swiping left, swiping right. And even with the sensitivity turned up to maximum on my iPad, it was still a little bit delayed. And after 1 or 2 times of it not going across as fast as you want it to, it gets kind of frustrating. So I think that'd be a lot better on the Switch, where you got the dual thumb thingies.
Look at it changing its view and everything.
It looks stunning, but at its core, it is just an infinite runner. Like there was a Spider-Man game that did exactly the same thing 10 years ago.
Yeah, what is it? That one, Jetpack Joyride. That was the infinite runner I always used to play.
Yeah, so...
But does it have that thing where you can upgrade after each level so you can go longer and stuff?
Here's the thing. So you sit down and you start playing the game and you do each level as its own separate entity. So for the length of the song, which goes for usually 1 to 3 minutes. But you can't play from the beginning to the end. So, like, I don't know, back in the olden days when I used to listen to CDs in their entirety and artists, made a story.
When CDs were, a story, the order of the whole CD created
you'd sit there
a soundscape.
You'd listen to the whole album back to front. This isn't like this. You sort of choose your best bits. Once you've finished it, I think you can unlock arcade mode where you can go back and go through the whole thing.
Nice.
Again, I've talked about how visually awesome it is. It costs $15 on the Switch.
Oh, what's going on here? Is this a dance-off?
It's a dance-off, yeah. So that's the beat rhythm section.
So there's different
awesome.
There's different bits to it then.
Yeah.
And it's a fight.
Yeah.
That's sick. It's like Parappa the Rapper with actual contact.
It's actually good. So it's a really, really cool game. I did enjoy it, but it's not my pick of all the games. The fact that I wanted to try this out and I was going to get it on Switch, but when it was for free on Apple Arcade, I thought I'm going to go there first. As a result, I'm not sure if I will play it on Switch or not. I might wait for it to sort of come down in price before I give it a go. It only takes about an hour and a half to finish the game. It's a score-based game as well, so the more hearts you collect, the higher you score. I got nothing but bronze medals.
Oh, look
Story of my life. Anyway, Dan.
Look at her. So I was just like looking at her dancing and stuff like that. My next game I played was Overland.
Overland.
Look at this game.
Oh, this looks cool.
So this is an is it isometric?
Yeah.
So it is a, what do I call it? It's a slow moving board game.
Right.
It's very relaxing to play. It's set in an apocalypse. You can see there's these crystal creatures sitting there.
Yep.
So
is this a zombie wasteland type thing?
Yeah, so you don't know why or what's happened.
Yep.
You start off with one character, and then you go along. You get the car. You find a car. You have to find petrol to like get into it. See the screen? It doesn't look like there's much on it. There is so much stuff to do. Anything you can search stuff. You can pick up stuff off the ground. It's very XCOM, so it's exactly the same as XCOM in its way. Like you got a certain movement you can do. You can do a turn each and a movement, and it's just about getting as much stuff as you can in every square, which counts as a certain time of day. So I think 3 squares is like morning, afternoon, and that.
Right.
And in between each square, you choose on the map where you want to go next, and one will be like, it takes this many fuels to get to here and stuff like that. So it's just like resource management, tactical game. But every square, like this you can see, really took it out of me. I was like concentrating, like going through it, working it out, and by the time I'd like felt like it was time to move on, or I had to move on, or I'd gotten all the people out, and you move to the next one, I was just like, that was good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like.
So you're investing in the storyline? Is it just your basic?
It's just a survival kind of game. As I said, I haven't got massively deep into it yet, but there's a lot of lateral thinking in it. So you're like, well, I could go over there and kick that can. So the creatures are all sound based, so you can lure them away. You can see there's a double guy up
like
the top
in a quiet
there.
place.
Yeah, you can see he's getting a bit of petrol there. That guy.
Mm-hmm. So for the podcast,
and you can grab so you can only hold one item, but you can put an item on the back of your car and like for storage and stuff like that. And if you get in the car, you're safe. So the monsters don't get you in the car unless you turn the car on and stuff like that. So there's all this cool. It's just very, 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 very cool. Like and yeah, this is great. That's all I can really say about it. I reckon. Like it's just. I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about this one. And I think you can't even like put a dollar value on these games because they're all free.
But these are all full games. Like, do you know how long this is supposed to take to finish?
I don't know this one. No.
Like, some of these games are 30 hours long. That's a full price game. That's a full $60 game. Well, not $60 here, but that's a full game you're getting for free or for $8 a month, which is ridiculously good value.
What happened then?
Oh, some gas. All right.
And lots of searching, inspecting. Good game. Good.
You want to talk about a good game? We'll talk about this game. This game is amazing. This is a Ben-ass game. This game is freaking awesome. It's called What the Golf, and my goodness, I love this game so much. So it starts with what looks to be a physics-based golf game. That's the second course. So instead of you swing go for the hit, but instead of you hitting the ball, you have to get the golfer to the hole and hit the flag.
Ouch. I saw before, like in one of them, like the flag pole move.
Yep. The flagpole moves. And one of the amazing things about it is every time you get to the flag post, it has a golf pun or a flag pun, and these puns are great. I was laughing out loud, and then you can see on the screen here, whenever you're taking the shot, you get an indicator arrow. So we can see on the screen here, you now have to get a house.
Look at those cars.
You have to hit the house to the flag. And because it's physics-based, it just rolls and clunks everywhere.
I've got this one to play, and I really want it, but I've heard that just when you think this game, they've seen everything, it just surprises you.
Yeah, it just keeps going. The best one that I got...
Home in one.
The best one that I got was you're lining up to hit the ball, and as you line up, you get this arrow indicator coming up showing you how much power and what direction you're hitting the ball. And you pull it back and fire it, and that actual indicator is the thing that you're firing. I lost it. I was laughing my butt off. And it gets harder as well. So this is a huge game. What we're watching here is just the tutorial at the start. You then go to another area and it goes here, there, and everywhere. And
cool cat.
It's Words cannot describe how much it is, but it takes a lot. The flagpole just moved out the way. Watch for the pun. Here's the pun. Bad flag. That wasn't that bad. No.
Look at that cat.
Anyway, you should all go to Apple Arcade and get that one. Dan, next awesome game on Apple Arcade.
The next one I chose is actually a spin-off from another huge game. It's called Exit the Dungeon. Gungeon. Which is obviously...
it's a prequel, isn't it?
They're calling it a spin-off.
Oh,
an
okay.
Official spin-off. But
Right.
it's actually... so it's a spin-off to Enter the Dungeon. Gungeon. I keep saying
Have you
Gungeon.
played it?
Yeah, I streamed Gungeon one time. It was really cool fun.
Yep.
So Gungeon, the first one is like isometric look down, where this one, as you can see, is a complete side scroller, sort of. You're going up an elevator. And the object is that I think you've finished the first game, and now you have to exit and get out of the Gungeon. It's called a Gungeon because everything has gun puns in it, like you're fighting bullets and stuff like that. And this game is funny.
Yeah.
Like the writing in it is hilarious. So when you first start the game, because it's now it's a sideways scroller, you talk to this wizard, which is actually the wizard, the knight from the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That's like, that guy.
Choose wisely.
Yeah, that guy. And he's like, press the A button or whatever, and you press it, and you do a jump. And he's like, what did you just do? Did you just do the legendary vertical dodge? Because you could only dodge in the first game, like you couldn't jump, and so they make a massive deal out of you just being able to jump in this game that no one's ever done it before. No one's ever left the ground. You don't pick up weapons. You basically, the longer you last and the more you kill with a weapon, it just automatically, randomly upgrades as you go. So the longer you keep a weapon, the different, it'll just keep turning into these hilarious, stupid guns. And some of them are hopeless and ridiculous. And some of them are so OP and you just have to keep going up and you just get to the next level. There's boss levels. It is a very, very, very cool game. Like, yeah. I can't, and the fact it's all free.
Free, again.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to play that right now, you could play it on that iPad.
Yeah, I haven't actually. As I said, I've only played all these on the Apple TV, so I don't know what this is like on. Like
how do the games handle on the Apple TV? Because I'm currently deciding whether I buy one or not.
Well, because it all depends on what Apple TV you've got.
Right.
So they all have different operating systems and stuff like that.
Okay.
Running speeds and stuff, but fine. At first I thought they weren't good, but I just realised I was downloading like 20 games. When I first got it, I just downloaded everything and then tried to play them and it didn't handle that very well. But if you're not downloading 20 games, yeah, they're fine. My Apple TV was fine running that.
Right. Okay, on to another game that I played, which is probably the one that they've pushed the most heavily for Apple Arcade, I think. It's Oceanhorn II, which is a sequel to Oceanhorn, funnily enough, hence the 2. It's basically a Breath of the Wild clone, in case you couldn't tell from the footage we've now...
the same kind of blue.
Yeah, and like blonde, spiky hair. Footage on the screen now has got the first level where you're running around and sort of discovering the world, discovering the controllers. I was really, really impressed with the controller movements. They're all touch-based on the iPad. I played this on my iPad.
I played this on the controller,
yep.
And it just feels things. There's only one problem with this game for someone like me. You can't invert the Y-axis.
Yeah.
You can with some games, though. I thought you couldn't for any of them. But you can actually do it. Some games have controls in them now. Probably they will update that. But for someone like me, I cannot play it.
So, speaking of playing, it did feel a bit rigid to me. So the run cycles and the animation are all very fluid, but the actual character, the way the character moved around, it was just a bit stiff, like a bit unnatural.
Bit erect?
Yes. So's the character. Graphically, it looks amazing. So I played it on a iPad Pro 2. Or whatever the previous generation was, ran perfectly. I did notice a few times that the attacks didn't land if you were up on a slight hill or the enemies were in a slight ditch, even though your sword was striking them.
These are all things they can fix with updates and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, I've played these things.
Yeah, it's true. We need to be critical on these games as if we've paid money for them.
That's right.
But if you do work it out, that $8 in the first month, I think you're paying 8 cents a game.
Yeah.
For that
So
first 100.
the devs have said that they target 30 frames per second across all devices, which gives it that continuity through iPhone, iPad, Apple Arcade, and everything. And having it on a smaller screen, so if you're playing on your iPhone, it gets really hard to see some things and to move around effectively. But on the iPad, this game performed very, very well. It's a Zelda-light. Like, the first dungeon is, I wouldn't even call it a Zelda-like dungeon. It's that
It's
basic.
like a tutorial.
It's not even that.
What's he doing here?
Join the boxes. You can pick things up. Again,
Look at the animation. That's kind of cool. It's got animation on the pot thing.
It doesn't. That's a bag of money or hay.
Hey.
It doesn't because he's raiding a pirate's hideout.
Hey.
He doesn't have the depth of a Zelda dungeon or anything like that. So when they say it's a Zelda Light, it's very much a Zelda Light. But you know, for free, it's very much worth it. You should give it a go. Zelda Breath of the Wild's your type of thing.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, that's a spiky gel.
Looks like those Chinese junction caterpillars we used to have up our way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your last game, Dan?
I'm actually joining my last game, not this game, but my last game with your game.
Okay,
we're at the vast game is the game we both really love.
The number one game.
This is my next game is Sekai Into the Depths. This game is wicked. So this is underwater exploration.
Is he just farting everywhere?
No, he's got a booster.
I bet he has.
So you can see here, what makes this game I really noticed straight away.
It's called a vegan diet.
What I noticed straight away is all these, as you can see up in the top corner up there, all your little doohickeys and drawings and stuff like that. The whole game is set up with these like weird languages and stuff everywhere, but they're all through the menus as well, and you basically just kind of learn what's going on. So it's basically at its heart, it's you've got so you start off, you're in your house underwater. There's no explanation of why you're underwater. You just live underwater. You might be on a planet which is all water, and there's this big ice wall starts forming and pushes you out of your house, and it's about this slow moving ice wall which basically just rounds off the level. And then you can see here you've got red water, and that's water that has too much pressure that your suit can't handle yet. So that's the ice there. You can still touch the ice and stuff, but it damages your suit and that. And so you're trying to upgrade your suit to get deeper away from the ice. And you're trying to get underwater more. You have it has a small crafting and mining system. Nothing as gnarly as like Minecraft or anything like that. But and it's quite, I never found it hard to find air. Like every time you just go past a safe station, you just fill up your airs and stuff like that. But you can actually, looks like he's running out here. You can put a torch on, mine for certain things, go into your thing, and then make more weapons and stuff like that. There's the monsters in this are wicked. They're like these big, scary, deep water, scary monsters.
Yep.
And some of them are huge.
Like
and stuff
the goblin
like that.
sharks.
And you can see the graphics here. It's got this real weird, cool stuff. All the music is really well done. Like this full underwater, relaxing, beautiful music. And I found this game really relaxing. It was quite strange how much I thought I'll give this one a go. And then it was like 2 hours later, and I was like, oh, where did all that time go? I don't even have that gun that he's got there. But yeah, you have a jump system, but then if you press jump again, you have like a boost propulsion, but you use that as that runs out. But as soon as you kind of get to, he's in trouble here. As soon as you get back to here, it fills up your tanks, but you have to find tanks to fill them up, and if you let them go down, yeah. It's got a lot of elements, this game. It has a lot to do. The exploration feels really fun. It feels like you're underwater and you're going to these depths of like, see, he's got a bubble stuck to him there. Yeah. The bubbles are really cool. You're finding like alien, from what it looks like, alien kind of rooms that have all these like writing on them. And like when you find new items, it's never like this is what the item does. It's like pictures with all this alien writing around it, and you have to kind of study it and work out what's going on. Like, and it's just
cool.
I just really enjoyed it. It was just once again, it was free.
Yeah, free. Like for a month. Don't pay a thing, and then it's $8 a month for over 100 games. Ridiculously. Ridiculous.
Right, we have not been paid by Apple. Hey?
No, but if
really
they would
does sound like it.
Yeah, well, let's stop it. Let's stop.
All right, we'll start. But Apple, if you are watching, Mr. Apple, feel free to chuck some sponsorship dollars our way.
Little worm with the car. Remember that?
Shh. Don't work out. We're old. Okay, here we go. Last game that both Dan and I think is the number one pick at the moment for Apple Arcade, and it is a little game called Grindstone. This game's so freaking cool. From the art style, from the way you play, from the ingenuity. It's basically Puyo Puyo Tetris if you were smashing up the Puyo Puyos with a big old sword and a big old shield.
I'm pretty sure this is a comic book artist. Because the cutscenes in this, I've noticed, like, we sell some of this guy's art. Like,
Yeah.
it's too familiar. Anyhow.
It very much looks like Dean Rankin's art.
Yeah,
I noticed.
Yeah.
I don't think Dean had anything to do with it.
No.
But
like,
it has
look
that...
at him. You might have to find some more footage, Braden.
I was going to say, it does look very Cartoon Network, though.
Yeah. So basically, you chain attacks together by slashing through the same coloured monsters. If you get more than 10 in a row, you get a gem that comes up. A gem that comes up, which means you can chain a different amount of, a different colour of monsters. So you can get more than 10. And your goal is to get rid of the amount of monsters to unlock the door for that level and then go up a level. And I think there's 150 levels in this game.
This is the game I thought sooner or later there's going to be ads, and then I realised there isn't.
Yeah.
How cool is the inn and bar that you go back to, and the lady that gives you a beer? So like, if you lose some hearts, you go at the end between the levels, you go back and she slams down a beer. I've only played this one on mobile. I don't know what this is like actually with the controller. You can see here. Can we zoom in on that, Braden, at all?
Not really.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I love like the. Oh dear.
Got an ad for Grammarly,
Grammarly.
get out of our show.
Thanks, Grammarly. And if you'd like to support us, Mr. Grammarly, get in touch with Mr. Apple and they can come over here.
Yeah, I noticed like, so you have enemies that have, did you mention like the numbers on them? So you have to you did mention that?
No.
Oh, so you have an enemy who may have.
I can't even tell.
You have an enemy that has a number above their head sometimes that come in there, and the number is how many people you have to get in the chain before you hit them to kill them. I thought that was genius.
Yeah.
And each level has like, so you can do like the main thing, or you can stay on in the level and get the crown and get the treasure chest, and like, so a monster will have a key, you have to kill him and then get to the treasure chest, and you have to get out the level like at the end, and you have to do it. How good is this animation? Look at this his hand.
Oh, it's great. And it's such a simple game to jump into, play, and then jump out whenever you want. And the best thing, of course, it saves, auto-save all the time. And then also, again, play it across devices. So you could be on the bus playing it, go home, get your iPad, Apple TV, and continue playing there. It's just a really cool, fun game. So, overall, Dan, what would you say about Apple Arcade?
It's good. Like, I reckon, like, it's really family friendly, I noticed as well. So, like, I was thinking, like, if I had a kid, and, like, you could just, and he always wants to play video games, and this is just a way of not having to buy games every month and stuff. Like, he just gets probably more his share fill. Share fill?
Yeah, share fill.
Yeah, some other ones I wanted to mention as well was, like, Spidersaurus. That was a good one. 2-player Contra clone. Except one of you plays the guitar, like, and fully
I saw this. Yeah, I didn't like that.
There was another one that was like Shantae, whatever.
Shantae's been for years.
Yeah,
on the DS, on the Switch.
Yeah. It was quite erotic in some. All the animations were like thrusting their hips and stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I liked it.
Anyway.
But yeah, Shantae. Michael Chance is down.
So anyone who's listening to this or watching it with their eyes and ears and mouths and nose, head, shoulders, knees and toes, get on out to Apple Arcade. It's well worth your time and your money, and it's possibly the future of gaming.